bill, the Build Back Better bill that is not coming up in the Senate before the new year, in part largely because of your reservations. Without you, the leadership doesn't have the votes it needs. So today, right now, what's the state of play?
Of legislation, and I had my reservations from the beginning when I heard about it 5.5 months ago, and I've been working diligently every day and every minute of every day. I've been working on this, meeting with whether it be the President Biden, whether it be Majority Leader Schumer and his staff, whether it would be with Nancy Pelosi, all of my colleagues, I mean, from all different spectrums of the political spectrum, if you will, from the right to the left. I've done everything humanly possible. Where I'm at right now, the inflation that I was concerned about, it's not transitory, it's real, it's harming every West Virginian. It's making it almost difficult for them to continue to go to their jobs, the cost of gasoline, the cost of groceries, the cost of utility bills. All of these things are hitting in every aspect of their life. And you start looking, and then you have the debt that we're carrying at $29 trillion. You have also the geopolitical unrest that we have. You have the COVID variant. If I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get.
So that's what that scum had to say.
Right, a Republican in Democrats' clothing. That's all it is. He's straight up on Fox News like he stay there.
There's a lot of words I could use, but I'm just going to call him straight scum. And
yeah, you're right, David, because I want to say something so bad, but I'm just like, you know what? Reserve myself, man, my integrity.
Let's go the classy way first before we go in. And here's Ayanna Pressley.
So, Congresswoman, you were right. Let's get your reaction to the news that West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin says he's not going to vote yes on Build Back Better.
Jake, to be clear, my lack and deficit of trust was about Senator Manchin. He has continued to move the goalpost. He has never negotiated in good faith. And he is obstructing the president's agenda, 85% of which is still left on the table. And in obstructing the president's agenda, he is obstructing the people's agenda. I was listening to his interview earlier today, and he said it's a mammoth bill. You're right. It's a mammoth bill to address mammoth hurt, to lower the cost of elder care, child care, prescription drug costs, the child tax credit, which is so critical in combating child poverty. West Virginia, I believe, is a 7th in the country when it comes to child poverty. So by not advancing the Build Back Better Act, not only do we fail to meet the needs of the American people, their mammoth hurt in the midst of this unprecedented pandemic and pandemic-induced recession. Not only that, but we are going to put in his district, in his state, 50,000 more children at risk of going back into poverty by not advancing the Build Back Better Act, because the child tax credit is in that, and it expired on Friday. Moreover, in his interview, he spoke about inflation. We know that there is inflation because of the impacts of this pandemic. So the most responsible thing that we can do is to pass the Build Back Better Act. We cannot allow one lone senator from West Virginia to obstruct the president's agenda, to obstruct the people's agenda. Jake, all I want for Christmas is a senator that has compassion for the American people and not contempt.
Read, sis, read. She gave a good encyclopedia read for Joe Manchin. And honestly, what can you say to and this is why the questions that we ask are the questions that we ask, because we're confused as to where Joe Manchin stands. If you are a Democrat, and if Democrats are supposed to be, you're so focused on aligning yourselves with things that hurt the people that are voting for you guys, that are thinking that you're going to be a better representation for your state at that, and not Miss Pressley having to label what you're doing to your own folks and how it's hurting. But the fact that your voice is bigger than the president of the United States' voice, I don't understand how you are somebody who can pull votes and say, I'm not doing it, so it ain't gonna get done. it lets me know while she's saying, don't be a Republican, Charlemagne, and I'm talking about Kamala Harris, Joe Manchin is the Republican here. Like, he's the one that's moving in that GOP manner. This doesn't give bipartisanship. This just gives me, I'm working with them because I really don't give two damns about the people who put me in place. I don't want to help the people. I don't want to see them moving forward. I don't want to see them build back better. I don't want that for us. So a lot of what Joe Manchin said, I love how Ayanna Pressley came back and gave a stat for each thing that he said. Because all he's saying is, I just really, initially sitting on Fox TV, just saying, I just don't want to do it. So it's not going to be done. With no true reasoning as to, how him making that decision is going to help the people, or him having another decision to put in place, another idea to put in place that's going to help the people. He's just really showing he does not care for the American people, yet alone the people of his own state. So,
Mark S. just said something that 81 million voted for Joe Biden. Joe Manchin is a senator with 272,000 votes, but he gets to block everything for the majority of people. Come on, that's real. Like, this.
And there were a few comments in there saying that he's not the only one against the bill, and that's I'm sure it's true. That's really why we should just at this point have the vote and make them, if they really want to vote no, let them vote no. I'm sure Manchin, is going to be bold enough to vote no, but make him go on the record and vote no. But but the other thing is, it's not. I mean, it is that he just doesn't want to do it, but the reason he doesn't want to do it is because right now his pockets are lined. So just as a reminder, he founded a company in West Virginia, a coal company that his son now runs, but he holds significant stake in. He's funded by big oil and big coal. And somehow Schumer allowed him to stay on the energy committee as the chair. Talk about a conflict of interest. It's just it's almost like they set it up so that they could claim they wanted to do it, but then say we can't do it, even though we're the only ones that are in the position to do it. It's completely dumbfounding.
It really is.
But isn't that the model right now that we see with our representation? Everybody says they're going to do it, make promises to do it, and then I'll pull up and say I can't do it any longer, even though, that was your job. Or at least fight for it. Let us see you fighting for it. But you're right. When your pockets are aligned with ways that are very GOP-ish, when you're making money from that, when you involved in things that if you speak in another way that is not going to align with you getting more money on that, it doesn't work for you. And money controls everything, and we see that. That has to be the only
for real. And I see that everybody's saying in the chat that his daughter also gouged the price of EpiPens.
She's in charge of one of the medical companies that makes the EpiPen, and she gouged. She made it ridiculously unaffordable. There's been investigations into her too.
Corrupt.
I just don't see how people can treat people like that, man. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't.